Welcome back, everybody. We are going to switch gears completely into a new unit that has to do completely with cars and the price of cars, financing cars, interest rates, equity, all these terms that you may or may not have heard of in the past. And it really will help you make a better decision down the road, maybe sooner than later, and put you in a very good financial position with regard to a car that a lot of people either don't know about or don't pay much attention to. Now you can go to Google Classroom and download this PDF right there. You can print them at home if you want, or if you're at school, and take a picture of them when you're done, or do what most people prefer, which is totally up to you, and use the Google Doc version, which is also on Google Classroom, and turn that in when you're done. So today's date is January 4th, 2021. And today's objective, we're going to start slow, and then within probably 2 weeks, we're going to have a lot of car finance knowledge behind us. But today we are going to explore mean and median as methods for pricing a car fairly. Now, mean and median are things that you covered in middle school, maybe even sooner, certainly in algebra, and probably every year since. But why do we use them? What makes sense when? And this is one of those situations where we have to decide. Why do we want to do this? Because ensuring that data is used accurately when making a financial decision is important. Because you could have the mean or the median, but not really know how to interpret it, which is really the important part. So once you have the objective and why we're doing the objective, talk a little bit about the research that we're going to do. To research actual prices of cars that are currently for sale right now, you can find a lot of them, almost all of them, on cars.com. Even dealerships that have cars for sale list all of them on cars.com. And that also includes, new cars, used cars, private sales. It's a good place to find just about every car in any area. So if you wanted to search near Albany or anywhere in New York or anywhere in the country, you could do that. And we'll play with that website a little bit and find out how to change the filters to make the information meaningful to us. So that's the price. So the price of the car is what they're asking for. That's you can ask $50 for a pencil. You probably won't get it, but that's the price of it. Now the value is something that is determined basically by what will people pay for it. The value of something isn't necessarily the price, it's what people will pay. So the value of cars, you find this on kbb.com. It's one place you can find it. And that stands for Kelley Blue Book. And now, of course, with everything being on the internet, the Blue Book is now just a website, but this is what it used to look like. And I remember this. Even up through the 90s and early 2000s, the Kelley Blue Book was literally a tiny little blue book. It's probably the size of an index card, and it would have really tiny writing in it, and it had basically every year of every car, make and model, and condition, and what they were worth. So you could probably ask your parents or someone older than you, and they'll probably remember what the Kelley Blue Book really looked like. But now we use kbb.com because it's 2021. Okay, new cars and used cars. They're priced differently. So new cars are priced by what we call the MSRP. And that stands for Manufacturer's Suggested Retail Price, MSRP. So the factory where Chevrolets are made, there's probably several factories around the country, but those, the marketing department at that factory will suggest to all the local dealers like Denoyer and DePaula and Mohawk they'll say, hey, we suggest you charge this for the new car because you're going to make a little bit of a profit on it, and then we're going to charge you this for it. So it's MSRP, what the manufacturer, what the factory suggests that they sell it for. But a used car, which is something that you could have or I could have, and we're going to sell it again to somebody else, we decide that. We could price that. I could put a sign in my window of my car right now and say, $55,000. Now, no one's going to pay that for it, but I get to decide what I ask for it, and then we'll see what I could get for it. I'll get an offer much lower, but the price is determined by me. But price and value are two different things. So here we go. Comparing several prices of similar cars leads to a fair price. And similar cars currently for sale or recently sold are called comps, which is just short for comparables. When you get to compare something, well, how much did you pay for that similar car? Well, then that's what I should pay for it. So if I put a $55,000 sticker on the window of my truck, somebody would probably say, wait a minute, let's find another truck just like that, see what they're asking for, and see if it's similar. So that's why you have to compare several of them, because you might have an outlier, and that's where mean and median all come in. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're buying or selling, you could use two different methods to determine the fair price of a car. You could use the mean, which we know is the average, and that's probably what people default to in their mind and use more often. We do that everywhere, right? We have your average in Aspen is a mean of all your grades. We're just so used to using average, it's very common. There's something we don't use that often that we learned about, and that's median. It's the middle number when things are listed low to high. So that takes into account if one person wanted $55,000 for their truck. That would mess up the average, but it wouldn't mess up the median, because the middle number would still be the middle. It wouldn't change, but it would throw off the average. So this is why the mean is often used but has a serious drawback. And the drawback is the outliers. An outlier is a value that is far away from all the other values. And outliers can skew the mean. And you know that from your grades. You could have gotten an A on every test the whole quarter, and then you have an outlier, you have a bad day and you get a 12 on the last test. You know that's going to ruin your average, right? But if I graded on a median and you lined them up low to high, that last 12 that you got wouldn't change which one was in the middle. So an outlier, when you're looking to ignore the outlier because it doesn't seem to make sense, you want to kind of hang out where the chunk of the data is, then you want to use median because it'll ignore the outliers for you. So for example, let's check this out. Simple test grades. What if you had a 94, an 80, an 88, 84, and 25, right? Kind of similar to what I described earlier. If you add those 5 up and divide by 5, that's how you get your mean, right? So in typical everyday school, your average would be a 74.2. Just trust me, it is. We did this before. So 94 plus 80 plus 88 plus 84 plus 25 divided by 5 is 74.2. But what if we found the median instead? Because this right here doesn't look like a C student. Doesn't look like someone who would get a 74 average. It only happened because of that one bad day. So if you lined them up, lowest to highest, 25, 80, 84, 88, 94, and you looked at the middle, the median is 84. So that median would give a little bit better of an indication of that student's ability. That 25 was an anomaly. We don't know what happened there, but they proved themselves 4 other times. So we're going to just chop it off as an end value, work our way to the middle, and get 84. So we're going to go to cars.com, and we're going to look up a 2000 2018 Honda Civic EX. And then we're going to record the prices for 10 cars right here. And we'll find the mean and median of that data. Alright, so open up a new window on your Chromebook or whatever device you want. Go to cars.com. You'll get this purplish website to come up. And we want to be able to filter this so we all get the same results. So new and used cars. Well, a 2018 has to be a used car. So we're going to change that to used. I'm going to go from all makes, and I said we wanted to look up Honda. All models, we'll go Civic, regular Civic. And this right here, 20 miles from this zip code, well, let's put it on, first of all, our own zip code here at school, 12205. Let's start with 20 miles and see what we get. And if it's too many results, we'll change it. And if it's too few results, we'll change it. Let's see what happens here. Okay. It returned 89 results. I only wanted 10. So let's say maybe we go 10 miles from Albany. Still 53. The one thing I didn't incorporate yet was this. This one happened to come up EX, but we want to make sure they're all EX. So if you scroll down here, we also notice that they're not 2018s yet. I'm going to change the year from 2018 to 2018, meaning they're only going to give me 2018s. Let's go up for a minute and see what happened. Wow, that lowered it to 15 results. So I'm going to keep going down. And there's the EX, the trim level. And trim, if you are aware, it's like how fancy are the wheels? Does it have leather or cloth? Does it have a fancy steering wheel or a rubber steering wheel? Does it have a spoiler on the front, tinted this, tinted that, certain sound systems? So the EX is one of the popular trims. So once I put EX in there, there's only one result. So that's where I wanted 10 of them for my data. So whenever it's not enough, just go out a little bit. Let's say 20 miles from Colony. That gave me 4. 30 miles. Still 4. 40 miles. 50. I'm going to keep going. 75. Okay, we're up to 7. How about 100 miles? 21. So there's a big jump there from 75 miles to 100 miles, right? So what I'll do is I wanted 10 and this gave me 21. I'll just pick the first 10 that come up. So we're going to write down in our notes 14,900. I'm going to cheat. Actually, I'm just going to work smart here. I'm going to type them into Sheets. And you can kind of just watch me unless you want to do it with me, because we are going to do something similar to this over the next few days. Wow, that was fast. All right, so there's the 10 that we had in our notes. And what's cool about Sheets is it doesn't matter if they're in order because it can figure out the median for you either way. So let's say I wanted to figure out the mean. I could go equals average, select them all, and it turns out the mean is 16,346.40. But the median is a little bit less than that, which is important, 15,992.50. So I think the reason the mean was a little bit high was that there was this 18,673 that was a little bit of an outlier maybe, and kind of skewed everything up a little bit. So it's important that we see the difference between the mean and the median. And those two numbers can go at the bottom of your notes where it says mean and median. And then we will turn those in, whether it's a pic of a paper or a Google Doc. And then tomorrow we'll move toward the box and whisker plot, and then how to do some more research by the end of the week.